Thank you. Hello? Actually, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How far?
Um,
Give me a second.
hello, everyone.
Welcome.
We're just waiting a bit.
For others to join, probably like 5 minutes, and then we get started.
All right, so
I think we can get started. Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Can you hear me? It's good to meet
And
you.
say hi.
Yes, we can hear you.
Loud and
Yeah.
clear. Cool. Okay. Welcome everyone to. Sorry, you can unmute. You can. Yeah. Thank you. Whoever did that. Thank you. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm sure you're all familiar with why you're here, but then I'll just remind you, this is the Open Source Challenge webinar. And the aim of today's event is just to once again introduce you to the Open Source Challenge and, get to meet you all and answer any possible questions you might have. My name is Bolaji Ayodiji, and I am the community manager at Open Source Community Africa. And with me, I have Edidiong Asipo the Drip. I would let her introduce herself.
Please smile.
Hi everyone, welcome. I mean, there's no introduction whatsoever, but yeah, my name is Edidio Asipo. I work with Bolaji in terms of like organizing events and webinars and managing the community at Oscar. Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
she's my
Boss, I work for her, so yeah.
No, it's actually the
Thanks,
other way around though.
thanks for the introduction, Edidio. All right. So yes, just to just to ask everyone, I don't know if you've all read the article, checked out the repository, checked out all the resources we've put out for you all. Just to start with that, I see we have about 23 of us here, or 24 now. Are we all familiar with why we are here, or we are just coming here to understand why we're here? That might be possible. No comments.
all right. Okay, cool.
So just a brief introduction to what the Open Source Challenge is and why we started the challenge, right? We are all familiar with open source, right? And this is the software that is made available to the public for collaboration, development, contributions, and all that, right? And this is the bedrock of the open source community Africa, to improve the rates of contribution and development of open source in Africa. And we realized that contributing to open source is a catalyst for growth. It opens you up to so many opportunities, and that is why we have this challenge, because we want you to get better at contributing to open source, and we also want you to enjoy the many benefits that it brings. And yeah, the challenge is here just so we can support you and help you contribute to open source and help you become better at doing it. And that's pretty much why we are here today. So yeah, that's pretty much it about the challenge, right? And if you've read the articles and all the resources we provided for you, the challenge starts on Monday, if I'm right. Yes, August 14th. Oh, sorry, August 14th is today for the webinar, right? I'm sorry about that. And yes, I'm a little bit distracted. All right, that's pretty much about the open source challenge. We are all familiar with it, and I just take you through a couple of the benefits why you should actually do this, and how all this is going to work, right? So first things first, like I mentioned earlier, the challenge helps to build you up. You get to grow as whoever you are, as a software developer, as a designer, as a technical writer, program manager, whatever you fit in the tech ecosystem, right? You get to improve your skills by working on real life projects. And secondly, this challenge would increase your chances of getting accepted into paid OSS programs. When I say OSS, I mean open source software programs like Outreachy, Google Summer of Code, Google season of docs, and much more, right? Because the this challenge has a similar structure or a little bit of the challenge is included in most of these programs. So you getting to participate in this, builds you up for the greater challenge ahead, and it gets you familiar with most of the things you would do at Outreach or GSOC, right? And the third point is you get to expand your network and meet more open source enthusiasts like Edidiong and all of us here in today's call. And that's one of the benefits. If you've joined the Discord channel, also you have access to interact with other challengers. Let me use that word because we are all challengers today. That sounds like Avengers. Avengers, okay. Anyone is fine. Yeah, and the next point is you get the opportunity to get recommendations and referrals from all of us here. This is a one big community, and participating in this challenge means you network with more people. So if I venture, I find Bala, and I know Bala does XYZ, and I find an opportunity that fits into his skill set, I'll probably want to recommend him. And that's the idea behind having a community like ours, right? And last but not be least, what did I just say? Last but not be least. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, just say that.
Okay, last but not the least, you get the opportunity to win amazing prizes, and I mean that's really really interesting. We'll leave that to the end of the conversation today, but then that's pretty much why you should do this, and I hope we are all pumped up and excited to get started with the challenge on Monday. So before we continue, let me just are we all are we pumped up? Are you pumped up? Pumped up? Pump 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 and dump pumped up. Let's make this interactive. I'm going to call names. So I can see Akachi, Balabrai, Chiamaka, Edidiong, Efe, Elisha, Festus, Franklin, Hannah, Hamon, Ifyan. I can turn this into a song actually. Jerry, John, Michael, Oluwafemi, Onyedikachi, Peter, Rapsin, Sandra, Sharon, Temitope, Uja, Victor, Wangari. I hope I pronounced that correctly. No comment, nothing. And I can see beautiful faces here. Okay. First of all, is pumped up. Okay, that's nice. Only Festus is pumped up. The rest of us, we are dumped up.
Okay.
My guy, Uja, I see you. Why are you not pumped?
Someone said,
Michael,
why is it not pumped?
I will find you. Michael Adebam, I'm trying to look for your picture, boy. You're not showing my screen. Why are you not pumped? What's the problem? Michael, you must talk. Oh. Thank you, Sandra, for the thumbs up. I guess the rest of us we are not pumped up, and we need to figure out why that is. Because if you're not pumped up, then we cannot continue this conversation. We can probably end, and then all of us can, go to our houses. Oh, sorry, we're in our houses. This is a virtual call. We cannot leave our computers. If I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but yeah, thanks for being pumped up. John, thanks for being super pumped up. Michael, we are waiting for you. I pronounce your name like I would pronounce my friend Michael's name. Michael.
Why are you like this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
I
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Like, I don't really understand the whole open source thing. This will be my first time of contributing to open source, like the whole how the challenge we play out. I actually read the article.
Okay.
I checked the GitHub repository, but I couldn't find like the challenge and the projects we are going to contribute to.
Okay.
So everything still like looks vague to me. So I'm not pumped.
All right. That's cool. I mean, that's why we are here, so we can help you understand better and get you pumped up. Luckily for
Okay.
you, you spoke early because I can see they are ganging up already to kick you out. So thank God for your life. Okay, don't worry, Michael. We'll get to that as we proceed, and we'll help you understand much more better. I'm glad you are here because it means you found it interesting, at least, even though you did not really understand so much about it, and
Yeah.
that's why you're here. All right, cool. Jerry, you're dumped up. I can't help you.
maybe a video will help you.
Yeah.
Okay. So just before we
Move forward to the Q&A so we can, get this more interesting. I'll just run through, the process of this challenge. If you've read the article, you might be familiar with this, but then this is how it's going to work. The first step is you should have registered using the form. I'm going to share that again in case you came here randomly from the internet or you're an alien and you did not register. So please go and register right now so we can have your data and we can use that, when it gets to reviewing projects and all. The next step is joining this webinar today. And yeah, we are all here, so we can skip that step. And the next one is to join the Discord server, the official Discord server for Open Source Community Africa. And there is a special channel for you all. So if you've not joined the server, I'm just going to paste the link in the chat here. Join the server and you'll find the channel somewhere. It's called Open Source Challenge 2021. And that's where we all get to collaborate, chat, find accountability partners, share resources, and other stuff as we run through this challenge, right? And the next step is to check out the Open Source Challenge GitHub repository, where we are putting together a bank of helpful resources that would guide you through the challenge. Like the question Michael asked, how can we find a project to contribute to? We already gathered some resources that would help you through that in that repository. So I would paste the link to that also in the chat. What else? The next step is from Monday, you get to contribute to any open source project of your choice, right? We can guide you and help you to find projects that fit into your niche, but then you have the liberty to contribute to anything you want to, right? In any capacity you want to, and that's the beauty of it, because open source is for everybody. Whatever skill sets you have in the tech ecosystem, you can contribute to open source. And upon completion of the challenge, one of the requirements of entering in for the prizes. Now, it's not compulsory for you to win a prize. You might be, big enough or bigger than the prizes we have. So you can just leave it for the smaller boys like us, boys and girls. So yeah, if you're not interested in the prizes, you can just contribute and move on with your life. But if you want to compete for the, chicken change we have for you all at the end of the challenge, then we expect you to write an article about your experience, just tell us about what you've learned and how. I mean, for someone like Michael who is doing this for the first time, right? It's going to be like a wholesome experience for you, and we want to hear how that turns out. And for the seniors among us who obviously have been contributing to open source before now, we want to hear how this was different. What made this different? How were we able to support you more and stuff like that? It doesn't have to be a magazine or a newspaper. You can keep it short. Just one paragraph is okay. Just tell us, and then share that with us. And once you're done with that, we also have another form which we would be sharing with you all when we get closer to the end of the challenge. And that's where you're going to, submit a link to your article, links to your merge pull request, and other stuff we would ask from you. And only those who complete that form would enter for a chance to win some of the prizes we have. And, after that, to announce the winners and blah, 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 blah. And that's how it works. Before we get to questions, because you might probably have questions from this flow, so we can start from that before we get to general questions. But then just to remind you of the general dates relating to this challenge, which I would still share in the chat right now and also in Discord. I think I should actually share all of this in Discord also. So if you're in the Discord server, you already have access to the Open Source Challenge 2021 channel. So yes, the challenge starts on Monday, 16th August, and ends on the 6th of September 2021. I think that's 3 weeks if I'm correct. And just after it ends, we would announce successful participants and reward some of you with little prizes and all that. And that's pretty much it. I can't hear anything. You mean you can't hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, my line.
Like that energy, loud and clear. So that's probably a problem from you, James. Probably you can check your your headphones or
Yeah, maybe
something.
try leaving and joining again.
Yeah, that
That
should
might
work.
Okay.
help.
All right. So I think it's time for us.
To answer questions. So please, Edidiong is here, to attend to your questions, and then anyone that is within my pay grade, I would try to answer also. Just for now, I'll share some of the links I shared already here on the Discord server. So let's go, bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, I think we start by answering Michael's question since he already asked.
Sorry, Michael.
I forgot you already. Don't mind me.
Yeah. If just to be sure, remember what you asked, Michael. Hi, you can still hear me. I think he asked about. I mean, I wanted to get like more details on what organizations he could contribute to because he couldn't find it on the repository we shared. Yeah, so the answer to your question is it can be any organization, right? There's no restriction to who you should contribute to, right? So we're not saying, hey, you have to contribute to, let's say, Kubernetes or any other Google open source project. It can be any single project. It can be a project that Oscar owns or a project that Bala, for instance, owns. Yeah. So the goal here is for you to identify a project that it fits into your skills. So if you're a Python developer, for instance, that means you'd have to look out for projects, open source projects that are built on Python, right? Because I mean, if you're a Python developer, we only have JavaScript projects for you to contribute to. It won't make sense because you don't have the knowledge for that particular open source organization. Yeah. And then if you're a technical writer who has um, some kind of experience with JavaScript or who wants to contribute to an organization built on like JavaScript, right? That means you have to look out for those kind of organizations. And the simple way to do that is to go to GitHub and search for, you could just, when you go to GitHub, right, there's like a search button. So you could search for, let's say, Python, for instance, and then you see different open source organizations that use Python in their code base, right? For instance. So what you now do is go through those different projects, just like not deeply, maybe just like glance through those different projects, and then you'd see you'd like see anyone that like maybe speaks to you, anyone that like makes sense, or anyone that you want to contribute to, then you click on that open source organization's repository and make a contribution. The flow for making a contribution has been included in that repository we shared in the article. So if you've never made any open source contribution before, you can like click on that repository and then you're going to find resources that will guide you through the process, right? Which is identifying an issue you want to solve, um, solving that issue, raising a PR or MR, and then waiting for a maintainer to like respond to whatever fix you've raised. And then if there's any feedback, they give you feedback, you fix it, and then your pull request is eventually merged rather. So yeah, that's included in the repository. So you could just like look through that, and if you have any questions inside this call or after the call, you could always drop it in the Discord channel, and then we'll be ready to respond as soon as we can. I don't know if that answers your question, Michael.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand now.
Mhm.
I feel we have
Some questions in the chat before we ask them. Can we like go through them from Rapsin? I think.
Yeah, sure, we could totally do that.
yeah.
I think I'll
Um,
I'll start by answering Rapsin's question before I let you continue because I
all
think
right.
like I have a perfect answer to that. Rapsin is asking how can we keep track of the projects we complete contribute to, right? So if you check the repository, there is a tool called open sourced, which is it provides guidance and it gives you like an onboarding kind of feeling to contributing to open source. So you can track each project you want to contribute to within a specific range of time. It's in the repository, but then I just sent it now. It's open source.pizza, right? Made by Brian from GitHub. Loves pizza, obviously. So you can sign up there, connect your GitHub account, and select the projects you want to contribute to. And it has like a dashboard field that you can use to do all you want to do. So check it out, and that would pretty much serve all you would need, Rapsin.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think the next question is from. I'm sorry for all of you complaining about the Discord link. I think Temitope and Rapsin, you say you cannot accept the link. I don't know. I don't know how you can. Probably before the call ends or something, if you can wait or send a text somewhere, because I can't say you should send a text on Discord because you're not on Discord yet. So we can help you resolve those issues. Much if you can continue.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another question by Jerry that says, which contributions are valid? Are they only merged pull requests from 16th August to September? Yeah, so the idea is for, I mean, the challenge is going to run for 3 weeks, right? Which from like you said, from 16th August to September. And it must not be merged. We want to see a contribution. I mean, we're not saying we should just go and make any random contribution, something that would not provide value to the organization. But then, as long as you've made a contribution that it's in the process, I mean, some organizations usually respond super quickly, meaning that your PR can be merged on time. But then there are organizations who may not respond immediately, and because of that, your PR might not be merged on time. So we don't want to like make that be a factor for you to not maybe qualify as one of the winners, for instance. So, but we'll definitely give more priority to people whose pull request has been merged. But then if your pull request has not been merged, but then we can see that it's like a valuable contribution to the organization, or that the one of the maintainers have already started responding and like it's in the process of being merged eventually, then we will still consider that as well.
Yeah,
We hope that
that's the question, Jerry. And just to stress, I mean, make sure, I mean, the pull requests are from 16th August to September. You should not submit a pull request from last year to, you know, that defeats the aim
Exactly.
of the challenge. No comments from Jerry. I guess we can move forward.
Yep. Okay, I think he said yes. So I that's answered this question. All right. Okay. So Balaji, you probably take the next question, but let me read it out for you. By John says, how can I contribute as a product designer, or is it just for engineers?
that's a very
Technical question, and it requires 7 years experience to answer that. But I would attempt to answer that question. So yes, we understand that it's sometimes harder for designers to contribute to open source as opposed to software engineers, right? But then there is a community called the Open Source Design, which is a subset of the open source community that tends to bridge the gap between designers and open source, right? So contributing to open source designer is the same thing as it works with engineers, although there are not so many projects out there that are diverse and welcoming to designers, right? You still have to follow the same GitHub flow process if you're in the right organization, right? So I'll paste the link here for you. It's opensourcedesign.net. You can go there and find what open source in design looks like. And you can also find projects in, let me, I'll paste two links, the major website and the link to projects that had design also have design contributions and are open to designers, right? So check that out and try to familiarize yourself with how open source work with the design community. And also I would link you to the design community at Open Source Community Africa, headed by Peace Ojeme, and they are kind of like a lot of projects, not a lot, but some projects going on currently, which I think might be beneficial to you. But then just check this out and you can get started with contributing as a designer.
Okay. You're welcome, John.
Awesome. Okay. The next question is by Hannah. She says, how, sorry, you made mention of awarding the 20 successful participants. How do you grade the successful participants?
Is that question for me? I don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can answer the question as
All
well.
right.
Yeah, so we made mention of that in the article of like different things we expect people to do in order to qualify, um, or in order to be called a winner, right? So tons of people might qualify, but then there are people who would go home with the prizes that we're going to offer. And the people who would do that are people who, first of all, I mean, like, indicated interest to join the challenge, which you've all done, participated in this webinar, which you've all done since you're here. And then we also want them to also write an article about their experience. So at the end of the challenge, after the challenge is over, we need to see an article about what was it like for you. I think Balaji mentioned this earlier. What was the challenge like for you? Were you able to like learn anything or benefit anything through participating in the challenge, right? And then we also want to see proof of your contributions. That's like links to the pull requests you've made, the ones that have been merged. Just like pretty much, if you're a designer, then yeah, links to let's say the website you created designs for, or like a Figma design. And then if you're a technical writer, for instance, you can send us links to the PR you raised for the documentation. So we need to see proof that you actually made a contribution, right? And it could either be like a screenshot. I think no screenshots, links would be more preferable. I mean, open source is always accessible. Any single open source organization you're contributing to has all of your information open, right? So once you copy the link and send it to us, we can use that to say, okay, hey, this person actually made a contribution to an organization. And then once we also see your article as well, then those are like the two important things we need to see to identify or choose winners.
So I also think one important part that who asked the question, Hannah might be wanting to hear is like, what if at the end of the day, like 1 million of you, as a sex one, you do the same thing. How do we pick from everybody? Yeah, so just note it's all going to be random, right? It's not, we don't have any core say, hey, this person, this, that, that. We are not measuring you or grading your work, right? We're just helping you and trying to support you. And then we also have a little prizes to reward some of you. So at the end of the day, it's going to be random. So yeah, you never can tell. We might even increase it from 20 before the end of the program to, 1
Yeah.
million. Hopefully maybe Bala, just wire us some funds and, Michael can send us like, something, a little change and we can make it, everybody gets the prize. So
Yeah, that's like a very important thing to mention. So depending on the number of people we see that have actually submitted like the PRs and the article, if we get a lot like a bigger number than we anticipated, then we're definitely going to, I mean, there's room for us to increase that number of people. So that shouldn't be a problem.
that by her words, she has said it. If the number increases, she's going to scale it from 20 to 200. So
Yep. That's totally doable. All right. So the next question is by Victor. It says, are we contributing to repositories in organizations only, or can we contribute to individual projects?
all right. I think it's a very, very simple answer. You can contribute to any project, either organization based or individual based. There's no restriction to that. Is that clear, Victor? Hopefully you're still here. Victor.
Clear. All right. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. So there's another question by Harmony. So please, what is a valid contribution? Can you please give an example? I mean, there is no, I don't think this is like a one size fits all situation, right? Because different organizations work in different way. But then a valid contribution is definitely something that provides value to the organization. So here's how the flow works when you want to make a contribution. You go to the repository of that open source organization, which could be on GitHub, GitLab. There are a couple of other ones, right? It must not be GitHub or GitLab. And then the next thing you need to do is go through their list of issues, because every organization has like different issues that they want to resolve or solve, right? Most of them also have like different labels as well, which can identify if an issue is like beginner friendly, intermediate, for experts, yeah. So depending on your level, oh yeah, thanks for mentioning Bitbucket, Subara. So depending on your level, if you're a beginner, then awesome, you can go towards you can like look at issues that are for beginners, yeah, and then you pick one of those issues and try to solve them. After solving the issue, you create a PR for that issue. The maintainer in the organization would let you know if that if like the solution you've come up with actually solves the problem, and if it doesn't, then the probably request changes. That's like you need to go and like make some modifications to your PR, and once you've modified it and they think it's good enough, then they're going to merge that merge your PR. So for this particular organization, this particular thing might be identified as valid, and then for another it may not. But then once you can solve whatever issue was raised, then that's automatically a valid contribution. I don't know how best to explain it.
However you explain it is best.
All right, cool. So Saint says, "Good day, guys. Is it necessary? It has to be issues being solved." I'm not sure I understand your question. Can you please turn on your mic and like talk, please? Apology, do you understand his question?
I'm not sure, but I'll probably guess he's trying to say, do you have to contribute? Can you create your own project? Maybe I'm guessing that's what it means, but let's allow him.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's like, okay, what if you don't see? Can you create an issue by yourself and like create a PR, or do you have to specifically find an issue before creating a PR? I'm not sure.
And are you sure?
Yes, since
Are you sure?
Does the PR have to be merged? Can I work full time for open source? Doesn't mean the PR has to be merged. Yeah, I mean, if that's your question, we want the PR to be merged, right? The end goal of this is for you to make a contribution. Creating a PR is great, but then it's not a contribution because that contribution has not been merged. I don't know if that makes sense. So we definitely want the contributions to be merged, right? But then as long as you raise it during the period of the challenge, some organizations may not respond quickly. So it's possible that your period might not be merged within the time frame. And we understand that. But then we want it to be merged at some point. I don't know if that makes sense. And then even the form where you're going to submit to like qualify for the prize is not immediate. It's like a 1 week span. So that means you have like an entire month to get your PR to be merged, which I think any organization would definitely merge it within that time frame. I like to think so. Open issue. Okay, so I think Sent has sent a response. He says, "Can we also make a PR that adds value to the project? Like, is it necessary for it to be an open issue that you will solve and send a PR for?" Yeah, you don't have to go through the issue process. Sometimes you might discover an issue by yourself, right? So let's say you're using the open source organization, like sorry, you're using the project, for instance, you can spot something that nobody has spotted yet. So you can raise a PR for that fix. You don't have to go through the issues to find something to fix. You could just like go through the projects, or if you're already using the project, if you're using the project for a period of time and you've noticed like a typo or a bug somewhere, you could just like raise a PR to fix that thing directly. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Peter asks, can I work full time for open source? But do you want to take that?
How are you trying this one? Okay,
so I don't know the capacity of which you're asking the question. Like, do you mean can you work full time for an open source organization, or can you work full time for a company that produces open source software, or do you mean can you work full time on an open source project as a core contributor also? Yes, you can. I mean, it's up to you. You can work full time on your own personal open source project, and you can work full time in the capacity of contributing to bounty programs. I'm going to add one of them to the resources right now. It's Open Collective Bounty Program, where you get to contribute to specific issues and you get paid for them. I think I can even share the link here right now. So yes, you can do all of that. It's up to you to decide on what you want to do. And I don't know if this answers the question. There are much more bounties than this. There are also more bounties. I think Facebook has some bounties. I'm not sure if Twitter. I know I'm sure of Facebook. Some different products have different bounty programs for contributing to open source or finding bugs. There are tons of them out there.
All right. Okay. Yes, it is. Okay. Next question is from.
And yeah, please note that you can just like turn on your mic and ask the question. You don't have to send it through the chat.
Please, we want to hear your beautiful.
Beautiful voices.
I think we have one.
The two questions. I don't know if you've answered this one. Can we also make a PR that add? But yeah, I think you've answered this.
Heritage.
Asks, are we the ones to source for organizations that have open source projects, or there are links you provide for us to contribute? So it's both ways, right? You can find projects for yourself and contribute, and we would also help you, which we're already doing by providing you the resource bank where you can find links to possible guidance that would link you to projects. So we don't have a directory that would lead you to all the projects you can contribute to. That's a whole lot. And that's why we have GitHub, right? So your best bet is to go to GitHub and search for projects that are relating to your technical capacity and, just get into all of them. Projects now have this kind of categories that help you find issues that friendly for beginners, intermediates, experts, and stuff like that. So you can easily, find an issue that fits into your capacity. I don't know if that answers the question, Heritage.
Yes, you did then.
All right. Thank you very much. I think the next
Question I see here is from Peter. What is the maximum number of pull requests to be made? Like if I get one PR to be made, is that enough to qualify? Edidion, are you still there?
your people are
King,
Yep, I
what
am.
is your criteria?
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily have a specific number of pull requests you have to make in order to qualify. We don't have that, but then the goal is, I mean, it's 3 weeks, right? That's why it's 3 weeks, meaning that you have enough time to make different number of like a good number of PRs. We're not saying you should take the entire week to make just one PR. If that's what you're capable of doing, then it's great. But we believe that you can do more than just one PR in a span of 3 weeks. However, there is no specific number of PRs you need to meet to um, meet the criteria. But generally, if we see someone that has like 10 PRs that has been merged, right, and then someone else that has like one PR that's been merged, we definitely put the person who has 10 PR on the top of the list, or on the higher person has a higher chance of winning the prizes than someone who just has one PR, one merged PR rather.
So it's a challenge. So challenge yourselves. Let's see you do 50, 100, 1 million PRs within these 3 weeks. You never
Yeah.
can tell. We can probably reward you with a larger price for that. So go for it.
Yeah, and then we'll be sending in reminders like once in like 3 days to your emails to just remind you about the challenge and making a contribution. So yeah, in case, just know that we'll be there in case you forget, or if you need any help, we're always online on Discord to answer your questions. Or if you're struggling with like finding a community or a project to contribute to, we'd also like help you do a quick Google search for that as well. So yeah, just know that we're here to help you contribute to open source and benefit from it.
Yep.
okay. Any more questions?
Like I didn't say, you can just unmute and talk. You don't have to send it in the chat.
Yep. Oh yeah. So Saint sent this awesome link of projects you can contribute to as a technical writer or someone who wants to, contribute to documentation. So thanks for sharing that, Saint. So if anybody wants to contribute to docs, then you're in the right place because you can see different links of organizations that you can contribute to the documentation. So yeah, you could also check that out as well.
Mm. And you can find
All of this and more in the repository which you shared earlier. So just check it out.
Yeah. If you have like any questions or concerns or just want to talk about anything open source related, we still have like a couple more minutes. So you can like turn on your mic and like say what you want to say.
and if you want to
Think for us also, we are open to anything.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, Edidion, thank you, Bolaji, thank you, Open Source Africa, for bringing this challenge on board. So, I would like to make a comment on what you have been saying all year. So, when trying to contribute to open source, so there is, to me, because that's how usually I do it. When you go to the repository and see what you can do, you first create issue for it. But before that, make sure that you read the contribution.md, because some projects from organization have their own criteria for contributing, for guide for contributing, and you can usually find this guide under contributions.md. So it is advisable, if you think you can work on the project, okay, fine, read the contribution.md guide first. I think that's all for you. And because I don't think I heard either Bolaji or Edidion or in the comments or anybody somewhere called that contribution guide. So I think that's what all is missing in this conversation. Thank you.
thank you so much,
No,
Bala.
that's a very amazing contribution, and you said it all. So there's nothing more to say. Please and please, let's try to follow what Bala said. Read the contribution guide so you can familiarize yourself with what is expected from you by any project you're contributing to. Thank you so much, Bala.
Okay,
Hello, good evening.
good evening.
Good evening. Someone was
Yeah,
trying to talk. Okay. Hi, Anthony.
yeah, good evening. Sorry, I'm just trying to confirm. Documentations are accepted as pull request too. It doesn't have to be technical code.
Yes, yes, yes.
Documentation is accepted, please. We stressed this at the beginning of the call, right? Open source is for everybody. Whatever skill sets you have, right? Engineering, design,
All
documentation,
right, thank you.
program management. Yeah. Thank you for asking that.
Any more questions or
Contributions.
um,
So are we all cool? Are we all satisfied? Um, do you think we should end this call and we can all go to our houses? Oh, sorry, leave our computers. Or do you still have any more questions to share, or anything to share at all?
Yeah, when is the giveaway session?
giveaway in this call? Whenever you people
Having another conversation somewhere, because I was not aware of the giveaway. Edidium, what's going on? If I planning
I
something
don't
there,
understand either.
let's ask together because I need to be sure so I can, Is it raffle
Okay,
draw?
ask
Is it
again.
fastest finger, please? I'm carrying my phone now.
I know
Or
they
do
use
you
a
want to
big
share
app.
airtime? Star 555 star hash. I'm ready. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, definitely need to wrap up because we have like 10 more minutes still on the call. So if you have any other
There's a
questions,
beg
we can
down.
turn. Yeah, I beg, right?
Let
Are
me
you sure you don't want to do it
let
for
me
us?
leave my beg link.
Let's run it. Please share a link to the project on the platform for
Okay.
communication.
All right. I'll do just that right away. And for those who are having issues with Discord, yeah, we'll resolve your issue before we leave. Let's just wrap up. So if you miss the links, this is it again. The first one is for the repository, and the second is to join the Discord server where we would all be communicating. So don't forget to look for the channel named I think it's Open Source Challenge 2021. That's where we all are.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, Lydian already shared the article. Yeah, you can find everything there.
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Hi,
Good
can you hear
evening.
you?
Okay.
Good evening, Didion. Nice to finally meet you.
Hi.
So it's
Okay,
not
what
nice
I
to
wanted to
finally
ask
meet
is,
me. It's nice one. What I will no nice one. Nice one.
nice to finally meet you too. I'm so sorry.
Your gesture is not accepted.
You said?
You can you can proceed. I was like, your gesture is not accepted.
I'm so sorry. So what I wanted to ask is, how do we join Oscar Africa? That's the organization on GitHub.
Understand when you say join, you mentioned join Oscar Africa, you mentioned join the organization GitHub.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can we make it snappy? Like what do you mean by join Oscar and join the organization?
Okay, like you can join organizations now in the that you contribute to. Some organizations, they give you that access to be able to join them if you like want to do something with them long term. So that's just what I'm asking. If you can join Oscar in that same way.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything to say in that regards. We don't have any of such policies for now, right? But if I have anything else, I can, share with you on Discord, right? And just join the community, you figure out all that. But for now, there's no policy for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Victor. And thank you, everyone. And someone asked about Oscar community channels. Please check the link I just shared now. You can find everything. And if you join the Discord server also, there's a channel called Info and Links, so you can find all the links regarding the Open Source Community Africa. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. And just to remind you all that at Open Source Community Africa, our sole aim is to increase the rate of credible contributions by African software developers, designers, writers, and everyone in this call today. And we hope that with this challenge, we will be able to, help you all do better with open source and change the perception of Africans from just the billion users to the next billion creators. And thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
So I think we've reached the point where we all click the red button and exit.
All right, thank you all for joining. Bye bye.
So what about the giveaway?
Bye, 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 bye.
There is no
Bye.
giveaway, I'm
Bye.
telling you. There's no giveaway, please.
Hey, it's not good
Bye,
though.
everyone. Well, when you win, right? When you win, we'll give you something.
Oh yeah, now let me go and contribute then.
Yes, please.
Sharp, 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 sharp.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So, please can you hear me? Can I still wait for the Discord help? I mean, the help for the
Yeah,
the
Temitope,
help.
what's the problem?
So I'm trying to log in and it's telling me I can't. So and it's asking me to send a code to my number. When I send it to my number, it's saying I have an account, but I'm trying to log in, but it's not logging in. I don't know if you get.
I don't.
But I think you have 2FA set up before, right? So you're trying to log in, and it's asking you to input the code from your number, right?
He saying I should write my number. So he sends an OTP. He sends
OTP.
OTP
Number.
when so yes. But now when it's supposed to send the OTP, it's saying um that an account is existing.
Okay.
An
Are you
existing
Sign up.
Discord account. What do you say? I'm not signing up. I'm logging in, trying to log in.
okay? Are you
Is
currently
that I
Log
should
in by
remove
full.
it and-
Sorry.
on my browser?
okay? Okay, wait. Are you
Logged in on Discord already, or you are trying to join the server first?
I was trying to join the server.
okay? Maybe we should.
Just try and log in first without joining the server. Just go to discord.com and try to log in your own accounts. Seems like you're having issues with your own accounts. And try doing the whole OTP and imputing your password and now and see if you would log in before you try to join the server. Let's hope that works.
Please, can you come again?
Okay, what I
Said is like try to log into Discord first before you try to join the Open Source Community Africa's Discord server. Follow the normal process of logging in normally, and let's see if that would make any difference.
I will probably send.
The support link
Okay, I'm on
from
it.
Discord. All right. I don't know. Is that the only person that's having issue with Discord?
Okay,
I think that would be all. Timitope, if you have any more questions, you can. Oh,
I hope.
please, you're
Hello?
able to. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know if it's
Okay, now, but then if you have more questions, you can just send an email here because I have to go. But I also sent you a link that shows the step-by-step process of how to.
okay.
But just try to log in normally. If you've forgotten your password, try to use the forgot password feature and just try to regain access to your account again.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.